My name is the Local Misfit, and this is my 2005 Honda CRF 250R. Alrighty, before we begin, I have one disclaimer and one tidbit of information. The disclaimer is that I don't have a special microphone, and we're in my garage, so it can be pretty echoey, and I do apologize for that. My camera is actually just my phone. It's the best thing I got, so we'll make it work. The tidbit of information is, well, today we're going to focus on the plastics. This bike is here for more than just a plastic video. This is actually the start of something a lot bigger for me. So this is my very first dirt bike. I've wanted a dirt bike my entire life. I'm 28 years old now, and it took me 28 years to get a hold of one. But all those years and times I spent wishing I had one, I would spend it perusing YouTube, looking at videos of hair scrambles, watching like Graham Jarvis at Herzog, and watching some of the other Red Bull events and enduro events, and even watching Shade Tree Surgeon get a dirt bike for himself and do his enduro events. I always thought hair scrambles was probably something way out of my range because I haven't been on a dirt bike much, if at all, in my life, and it was really just a fantasy for me. But after watching Shade Tree Surgeon get a dirt bike and learn himself how to ride one and then do a hair scramble in short order after getting one, really motivated me to do the same as well. So that's what I got here, my trusty red CRF 250R. It is new to me, it is well used to be raced, but hopefully this will be the start of my hair scramble adventures. So there's obviously a lot more story to the hair scramble stuff, but I don't want to bog this video down with it.
Well, let's not get bogged down with his unbelievable selfishness.
It really is that. This video is about the plastics, so we will get to it.
Right. Today's mission, not really a complicated one. All we're doing is refreshing the plastics. The reason I'm doing that is just because the bike looks a little bit worn. Bike's newer to me, I kind of want it to look good. Not that it looks bad right now, it's just, you know, a bit worn. Ideally, I'm going to change all the plastics on the bike. It's going to be either teal, white, or black, and then I'll do some cool graphics on it. But being as I am new to dirt biking, and this is my first bike, and I plan on doing hair scrambles with it, I'm probably going to beat the ever-loving piss out of it. And I probably don't want to put new plastics on it just to abuse them like that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take all the graphics that are on it off. I don't, have any certain loyalty to any of the graphics on there. And I think graphics make bikes look cool, make them look official, but I want the bike to look clean. So we'll take all the graphics off, and then we will use a method to restore the plastics that Ryan from Fort 9 has done. What he recommends doing is using a drywall sanding block to wet sand the plastics, and then taking a buffer pad that you can use on a drill and buff out all the areas that you wet sanded. Watched him do it on an old 50cc Yamaha, and it turned out pretty good. So we'll see if his videos are just movie magic or if they're legit. I like Ryan. I'm trusting his methods are legit. If anything's wrong, it's probably because I can't replicate it, not because what he's saying isn't true. Couple rough spots on the bike. This tail section is the newest piece because the previous owner was doing a wheelie and he looped out and snapped that right off. So this is the newest part, but there's some scratches on it. I don't know if the camera's making that out. Number plates are pretty beat up. That section looks okay, but the graphics over 95% of it, so I really don't know what's underneath there. I'm assuming we'll see how bad it is once I take the graphic off. The front fender and the front number plate are the worst for wear. So this is so faded. The fender should be that color and it looks almost orange or pink. And the number plate is absolutely hammered. I'm not sure if I can save this, but we'll try. If I can, I'm assuming number plates are pretty cheap. Other side looks about identical. And then the last thing that really annoys me is that the fork tubes are different colors. So you have a nice bright white with that one, and this one is a yellowish. So I don't think I can buff that out, but I have a secondary plan that's probably stupid, but we'll give her a shot. But the very first thing I'm gonna do with this bike is we're actually gonna go and wash it. It's important to get the plastics clean, but the rest of the bike is pretty damn dirty too. So we have our first look at the CRF 250R without all its graphics. I like it. I think it looks really clean. Oh, it's not clean, there's dirt and shit and scratch all over the place, but I think it looks really good with all the graphics. Obviously the graphics make it look legit, make it look like I race, but not having them on there, it looks pretty good in my opinion as well. I think the condition of the side plastics, not nearly as bad as I thought. There's some scratching, looks a little bit faded, but I thought where the graphic started right here to where the plastic is, it'd be weird, but it's not. Pretty much the only area where there's a lot of damage is this number plate. I don't think I can salvage this. I'm gonna try, but that I can't get off. The numbers bled through. And then the front fender is pretty bad. You can see that's probably the factory color of, this is an Acerbis, but definitely very faded. You can even see the Honda logo. Ew, that is one naked bike. But got all the plastics off her. Just gonna try and touch it up, refresh everything. Maybe it'll look a little bit better, get us through the season. But yeah, let's get to it. Hello viewers, Editor Misfit here. As part of this video making process, I had actually worn a GoPro on my head for a lot of it, including almost all of the buffing work. And unfortunately, the SD card that I was using with my GoPro got corrupted and I lost all that footage. So I have almost no footage of me using the buffing wheel, except for this clip that you're watching right now of me buffing the number plate. So you won't get to see much of it, but this is a good example of how it works. And I did this for every piece of plastic except the fender. So with every piece, I go through and dry sand it with 1000 grit sandpaper, and then I go through with this buffing wheel that I got from Harbor Freight. It's important to note that while using the buffing wheel, you don't want to go so slow in one spot that you start melting the plastic, which can happen pretty quickly. You can have the drill going at full speed, you just need to be sure that you're moving that buffing wheel consistently and constantly along the plastics. So beyond that, I don't have much video of the actual work going into the plastics, but I will show you a lot of the after products and some comparisons at the end. All right, here's a look at the first side. Actually turned out pretty good. Nice and shiny again. There's quite a few scratch marks on there still, but I didn't spend a ton of time sanding. So overall, I'm pretty happy with that. I think if I was really trying to restore these plastics long term, I would have spent so much more time sanding. But I mean, that's pretty good. That'll do for a year, eh? What do you guys think? All right, on to the next one. Got the plastics for the right side done. This side was a bit worse than the left. Again, I didn't spend all the time sanding it that I probably should have, but it looks better. You can kind of see it in the light. Yeah, there we go. The money shot. A lot better than what it was. Yeah, enough to get me through a season. Also, I've been giving the fairings a little spritz. So this is Lucas. Nice and easy. It's what I use on my street bike. Alright, here's the old plastic for reference. This is our brand new, fresh new one. Well, not fresh, but freshly restored. So, you can see it's got a nice glaze to it. Outstanding. On to the next one. Just got done on the other number plate. This one was a bit worse for wear, but still looks a lot better than it did. Okay, so as you can see, we got the old number plate here, and yeah, it's pretty bad. A ton of gunk on that. So we're gonna hit with some Goo Gone and let that sit for a while, see if it mellows out some of that adhesive. And my hope is that it gets most of the gunk off, or at least gets the sticky residue off, and then we can go back with the razor blade, scrape down to the new plastic, hit it with some sandpaper, and then buff it out. So this is the number plate, and I am actually really surprised. It still looks like absolute hammered dog shit, but at least I got the graphics off. This easily had the most adhesive out of anything on the bike, and I got all the adhesive off. The next step is sanding, obviously, but I think because of how scraped it is, I'm probably gonna hit it with a heavier grit than I've been doing. Just got done with sanding it with 1000 grit, and it looks so much better. However, there's still a lot of scoring, a lot of big scratch marks. Obviously, I got that line going around where the number was. I'm not sure if this scratching will translate to the photo. It's probably gonna be hard to interpret via video on a white number plate. I can see it, y'all probably can't. But there's a lot of ugly bits to it where if I hit it with the buffing wheel, it's gonna look better and shiny, but there's still quite a lot of scoring, and it's kind of a dull color, so.
I can hear your voice.
Okay, got the number plate all finished and on the bike. It's a number plate. It looks a lot better on video than it does in person. The plastic's so thin, it's been used so many times, there's a lot of scoring. But it is certainly better than what I had, so I'm pretty happy with it, I think. I think that'll be good for the rest of the year. Plus I had to put numbers on it anyways. We are now on the tail section, and this is where my life gets very easy. I think I said earlier in the video, but when I bought the bike, the guy told me that just within like the past year, he had looped out and broke the tailpiece. And so this is the newest piece of plastic on the bike, and it's actually in pretty good condition. So I am not gonna do any sanding on it whatsoever. I'm just gonna buff it and try and put a bit more shine into it. And I only have to do from like here to here because all this is not visible, and I really don't care what the bottom of it looks like. It's also spackled with grease. All right, we're looking good. Look at that shine. Does this remind any of you guys of Highlight, or those games you play as a kid? You put like a little wiffle ball in here and you'd catch it, throw it, catch it, throw it. No, just me? Whatever.
Have you ever played highlight?
Actually lacrosse, but it's highlight for white people.
Lacrosse is gay.
You're gay.
It's a quick update on how we're looking so far. The plastics are looking so good. It's actually turning out a bit better than I thought I could do. However, that seat is now looking extra crusty. I plan on getting a seat cover over the next winter. Our next project is the fork guards and disc guard. This is kind of going to determine how we move forward. Where the sticker was on here, it's perfect. We got that clear look. However, where it was, you know, exposed to the elements for the duration of its life, it's pretty yellow. And I really want to get that yellow out. So I'm going to start with that one. We're going to sand the edge sheet or the edge of it, see if we can get it to at least go back to like that cloudy white. And if it turns cloudy white, we're in business. If not, maybe I'll do paint. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so I did some sanding on this yellow one, and the yellow just doesn't come off. And if you flip it to the other side, it's yellowed all the way through. So I don't believe I'm saving it. That really only leaves me with one option beyond replacing it, which would be to paint it. And I think that's what I'm gonna do. Again, just looking for these to get me through the summer and into next winter, and then everything's gonna be most likely black at that point. So I hate to do it, I know, sacrilege, but it'll at least liven up the bike a bit more. Good morning, viewers. It's a new day, and all of my painted parts are dry and on the bike. So this is everything put together. Now I'm gonna be honest, we definitely took an L on the fender. In the video, it actually doesn't look half bad, but in person, it's pretty bad. The color, it's a bit too bright, and the orange peel on it's really rough. So you gotta call out the L when you take it. That wasn't my best work, but I really didn't have any other option. I plan on going riding today anyways, so at least having this fender on there will get me on the trails, and then sometime in the next couple of days I will order a new fender, and I think they're only 20 bucks, so it's no big deal, and then we should be good to go for the rest of the season. But the painted parts on the front turned out good. Everything I shined up on the sides looks good. Number plates look good. Tail looks good. Even the front number plate, which was pretty torched, looks pretty good. Overall, I think the bike looks a lot better than it did.
Now that we are done, I think the only thing left to do is ask ourselves if we are happy with it and would we do it again. So overall, I am definitely happy with it. I think it turned out pretty good for the amount of effort I put into it. I know some people do a lot of sanding and a lot of buffing to get their plastics to look fresh, and I didn't do a ton of sanding, I didn't do a ton of buffing. I just wanted to get these looking good enough to get me through the year, and I think I achieved that. So overall, yeah, I'm definitely happy with it. Would I recommend you do this, or would I do it again? That kind of depends. It's a two-part answer. If you were just looking to freshen up your plastics or get them looking a bit better, kind of like I did, I think absolutely go ahead and do this method. You'll certainly get a better looking plastic by the end of it. However, I don't think any amount of work I could put into these would get them looking factory fresh. I think if you're on the other end of the spectrum where you want to have something restored or have something look brand new, I think it's probably just going to be a lot easier and really worth your money and your time to go ahead and buy new plastics. Even if I put the time into restoring these, I don't think I could get it to look like new plastic. So again, if you're just looking to refresh your plastics or make them look a bit better, I think this is the way to go. If you want to get your bike to look brand new, or you're trying to restore something, I think just go ahead and buy the plastics if they're available and if they're in the market. Besides that, I thank you guys for clicking on the video and watching this. I really like doing this, and if I keep getting some views, I'll keep doing it. So if you like what you see, feel free to hit like, subscribe, or if you got any feedback, leave in the comment below. I'd love to chat with you guys.